Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
She was keeping the sign only about communism. She is from communist country, from Poland, and they arrest her, my friend, today.
What was the reason for that arrest, ma'am?
Because she has a sign.
She had a sign.
She had a sign?
She's just carrying a sign, that's all. That's
About
unacceptable in Canada today.
About communism.
What was her name, ma'am?
Kasia! Oh my God! Kasia!
That's where you go. Right into the paddy wagon. I never thought I would see such a disgraceful attack on free speech and free expression and freedom of assembly here in the city of my birth. David Menzies for Rebel News here in Toronto. Well, folks, I'm back at Queen's Park. As you know, Yonge-Dundas Square, that has been declared a no-go zone by Mayor Tory. Not sure where Mayor Tory might be. Either he's a kilometre northwest of us, or he's several thousand kilometres down south at his North Palm Beach mansion. Regardless, it looks like Yonge-Dundas Square, the rules there have now shifted north to Queen's Park, because as you just saw on camera, the protest was, well, it was quashed here. Essentially, before it began, there were a couple of arrests. I don't know what for displaying a sign. But that's how they roll in John Tory's Hogtown these days.
She was keeping the sign only about communism. She is from communist country, from Poland, and they arrest her, my friend, today.
What was the reason for that arrest, ma'am?
Because she has a sign.
She had a sign.
She had a sign?
She's just carrying a sign, that's all. That's
About
unacceptable in Canada today.
About communism.
What was her name, ma'am?
Kasia!
Katya?
My friend too.
Arrested your friend as well. What was, who was your friend, ma'am?
He's a fellow called Yonan.
Pardon me, sorry?
He's a fellow called Yonan.
Yonan?
Yes.
Okay. And what was the reason?
I don't know. I don't know. You know, he tried to lead and organize and interject a different point of view as to what's going on in the world, and it doesn't seem to be received very well.
Get out of here!
Another political prisoner.
Move back.
Don't touch me, please. Don't touch me, bro.
Oh, yeah, sure, sir. Oh, sir.
I'm not speaking to you. Speak to media relations.
Yeah, I know. They're never here, sir. What were the arrests for?
Okay, fantastic.
Is it illegal to hold a sign in Toronto today? Okay, then. Hi, officer. Can you tell us what the arrest was for?
Speak to the sergeant, please.
Sergeant? Okay, then. Is there a sergeant here, or anyone that's a sergeant? No? Can any of you officers explain why these arrests were made? Somebody was holding a sign? No? Okay. You guys, anyone? No? Okay then. Is there a sergeant here? I was told to speak to a sergeant. Can't answer that either. Well, it didn't take long, did it, folks? Somebody was holding a sign. Somebody was just standing around. They were arrested. They're back in the paddy wagon. I think this should be, I don't know, the unofficial Uber car of the city of Toronto. I guess the good news is you don't have to pay for your ride, but you wouldn't want to be in there because I guess it's now headed off to 52 Division. But I spoke to an emotional woman whose friend was rounded up simply for holding a sign. I think it was decrying communism. I believe the woman was from Poland, so kind of like having, I don't know, a little Warsaw Classic there, and not a good feeling, I would imagine. So none of these police officers will speak to me, and I don't understand because these are the grounds where, in the summertime, thousands of Black Lives Matter protesters congregated, and these fine officers of the Toronto Police Service, not only did they turn a blind eye, not only did they not issue tickets, even when, I might add, vandalism was being done to the statue of Sir John A. Macdonald, which today remains entombed in a wooden coffin with a garbage bag over his head. But these officers actually bent the knee in solidarity with the protesters. So, I don't know, I'm not a virologist, folks. I'm just trying to figure things out. I'm just trying to figure out why you can, I guess, protest for racial injustice or against racial injustice, and the Wuhan virus will not affect you, and law enforcement gives its approval, as well as elected members of city council. And if you're protesting against the lockdown, a lockdown that has ruined lives in the name of saving lives, that is verboten in John Tory's Toronto. And if you display a sign saying so, that's where you go. Right into the paddy wagon. I never thought I would see such a disgraceful attack on free speech and free expression and freedom of assembly here in the city of my birth. Guys, I'm not trying to give you a hard time, but I'm just trying to understand the difference between an anti-lockdown protest, which you arrest people for, and a I'm glad it's recording, sir, and a Black Lives Matter protest in which you and your colleagues, even the chief at the time, took a knee for. Can you explain this dichotomy? It's a fair question, isn't it? I mean, it's the same place, the same time, the same virus. One gets your approval, one gets arrest. Why is that, officer?
I'm going to refer you to the corporate communications, okay? That's it.
Corporate communications. They cannot answer the question, folks, because A, they've been ordered to not deal with us, and B, there is no answer. There's no logical answer, at least. How you doing? I'm just wondering, can you tell us the difference between Black Lives Matter protest that gets your participation and an anti-lockdown protest that you arrest people for, just for having signs? Can any of you brave men and women answer me that question? Say, are you guys on Super Bowl crackdown duty tomorrow? There might be some Super Bowl parties. Wow, usually I'm running from the cops these days. I guess they see this news flash and they run from us. I'm just trying to get a question answered. But, hey, officer, are you on Super Bowl party crackdown duty tomorrow?
Smashed into me! Yeah, I lost my kid. You want to help me?
What happened, ma'am?
Rode his bike right into me. Oh, wait, that's it.
So, folks, par for the course, like the last 3 Saturdays, the protest is dispersed from Queen's Park or Yonge-Dundas Square, but the protest itself is not dispersed in its entirety. They are once again marching through the streets of Toronto. And you have to wonder what the point is. Is it just a matter of making Yonge-Dundas Square and Queen's Park a no man's land? You know, I wonder what the next no man's land will be. Will it be the entire city of Toronto? Just give Tory time and the resources for that one.
Where's John Tory in Florida? Arrest John Tory!
Well, folks, what can I say? Another disgrace, although not on the magnitude of the last few weeks here in Toronto. And it was a disgrace because they threw a woman into a paddy wagon who was protesting against communism. But I guess in John Tory's Hogtown, that's how we roll now. Besides, our head honcho, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, you know how he feels about communist China.
The level of admiration I actually have for China, because their basic dictatorship is allowing them to actually turn their economy around on a dime and say we need to go green as fastest. We need to start, investing in solar. I mean, there is a flexibility that I know Stephen Harper must dream about.
It's the basic kind of dictatorship he admires, and we wouldn't want to offend the mandarins in Beijing with nasty signs that are anti-communist now, would we? For Rebel News, I'm David the Menzoid Menzies. Hey folks, are you getting sick and tired of one rule for thee, one rule for me? Well, if you've been fined while our political types jet off across the world to frolic in the sun, let us know. Go to fightthefines.com. That's fightthefines.com. We'll get you set up with a top-notch criminal lawyer. We will crowdfund your legal fees, and we will get you some justice.